And now on Nights with Steve Price from the 50-Up Club, Christopher Zinn.
Christopher joins us every Thursday night. How are you? Nice to see you in the studio.
Oh, great to be here for a change.
Yeah, it's great. We are talking about insurance again tonight. We predicated this last week. We flagged that this was going to happen. But you are now going to use the numbers in the 50-Up Club, of which I'm one, of course, to use our buying power to screw a better insurance deal out of somebody on behalf of all the members, aren't you?
Yeah, and it's basically looking at home and contents
Screw
and motor vehicle.
Bit of
motive.
motive.
Look, screw. I mean, the problem is that insurance is difficult and it's hard to compare. And the insurance companies don't make it any easier because they don't share their data. We could wait till the cows come home for all the regulations to change and perhaps be a situation like there is in the UK where there's more transparency, you can search more easily. Until that happens, we've actually got to use our power of consumers.
What would you like to know that they won't tell you?
Essentially, how they price risk. Now, they regard that as their very, their intellectual property. And
that's like the KFC herbs and spices recipe.
Yeah, exactly. But the problem is, if you're going to check out, say, with motor vehicle insurance, all the insurers to find out where the best is, it's going to take you a couple of days. So nobody does that. You should be able to, in this digital age, given the consumer revolution, to go to a site that can actually compare all the insurers for you, your car, where you live, and tell you what the relative things are. You can't. You've got to go through a big, bulky, boring process, and of course most people don't, and that means competition suffers.
Well, I can put my hand up. I mean, I'm so pathetic that sometimes when it comes around to green slip renewal in New South Wales, where I've got 2 vehicles registered, the opposition sends you a green slip renewal. I forget who I'm with. And once I just sent it back and sent a check, I'd sent it to the wrong joint. That's how confusing it
is.
And I consider myself to be reasonably on top of this stuff, but I think it was NRMA and Allianz it might have been, and I just got confused about who I was with, so I just renewed it with the people who made me the offer.
Well, hopefully that was the best. But actually, green slips, is different. But there's a huge range. New South Wales, for example, you can go to a government site and it'll tell you the prices. Queensland, I think there's just one price for all of them. It varies,
different again.
And different again. So look, green slip, it's worth checking because, as I say, New South Wales, there can be a big difference. But in comprehensive motor vehicle insurance, there can be a massive difference, and it just depends on which insurer you check.
But your argument about this is so valid. If you are over 50 or 55 or 60, your driving habits are different to someone who's 25 or 35. The way you would secure your house is probably different. You're more cautious and careful. The older you get, the more conservative you become. But your insurance costs don't come down with the added maturity that the insurer has as they get older.
Not unless you shop around. So the case with motor vehicle insurance, and look, we've actually done some actuarial research around this, and basically the premiums for people after about 35 should be about significantly less, half what they are for people in their 20s. But the problem is, if you're with the same insurer, they do not pass on the savings. They just leave you rusted on at a certain amount. It's only when you actually shift or change or actually ask for some kind of premium reduction that you get it. So that's what the campaign is about. It's about shaking people a little bit and just saying, look, I don't expect you to spend 2 days checking all the different insurance, but we'll actually throw your hat in the ring, no cost, no obligation. We'll go and find an insurer who's prepared to do us an offer, which is something that you probably wouldn't get on the market, and then just compare it with what you've got. It should be better. It might not be better enough for you to move, but the mere fact that you check and you see who you're with means that you're going to be more critical and perhaps more engaged and make more savings around insurance.
It's a little like your house mortgage. Unless you ring the bank and ask, you're not going to get the best deal. Same with your credit card.
And you need
insurance.
a kind of prompt to do that.
The insurance company loves you when you first join them. When you first inquire, say, look, I'd like to insure something. They're all over you like a rash, and they try and make the best deal for you. But what you're saying is it's lock in and then forget. They just hope that you just tick and flick every year.
All business, the business loves acquiring, and they'll put money into acquiring to keep sweetheart deals, get you in. But in terms of retaining, then they put much less effort into that. And basically, people who stay loyal subsidise those who get a lower rate, who join afresh.
So 50Up's going to run the campaign to use the buyer bulk. How many people have you got signed up so far?
Well, look, we're after 20,000 people in 4 weeks. we're actually over 20,000 already. So we've had a great start.
Great.
So thanks, to our partners on this. Thanks to the enthusiasm of the 50-ups, 150,000 members plus already. But great comments, sharing about insurance. So now we're going to up it to 40,000. We think we can probably hit 40,000.
And you're getting a lot more information from these people to build up the data bank on what you think that they want fixed.
Exactly.
You've done a survey.
It's
on
yeah, exactly. There's a survey you can fill in, and many people have. And as I said, people should be paying less for an insurance, but only 4% reported that they paid less for their motor vehicle insurance. 69% were paying more.
So say you get to 40,000, what's the next step?
40,000 by the beginning of March. That'll be the 4 weeks.
Yep.
Then we'll start to engage with the insurance industry and say, well, who's prepared to do what to get access and make an offer to those people. And then you can look at it. And as I've said, it's no cost, there's no obligation. It might just be a little prompt for you to look and see what you're paying already. Maybe it'll be a bit better. Maybe it'll be a lot better. And I've found personally over motor insurance actually changing recently, saved $300 or $400, and that was not scouring the market. That was just going to one other because they covered L-plate drivers, which I had to do. So, it can make a big difference.
Given the government in Canberra seems hell-bent on attacking self-funded retirees, making life difficult for people who are funding their own retirement, if you can make savings on those fixed costs like insurance, and we've talked electricity before, you've got gas, water, all of those things that cost you the same amount each year, if you can pull in even small amounts over a year, you're going to keep your head above water because the government's coming after you. So you need to do this.
I know this year you and I are going to talk a lot about the government coming after people in this demographic. And I would just say the point about this is once you do it, once you get the mindset, once you do it with other people, it's actually easier. And the steps proceed again to other areas. It's insurance today, but it might be energy, it might be different sorts of insurance. All this stuff gets more and more expensive over time. We just got to find a way, not wait for the government to push it down or the industry. That ain't going to happen. We've got to use our power in bulk to try and get better offers.
More power to you. Thanks for coming in as usual. Good to see you.
My pleasure.
Christopher Zinn from 50Up.